Welcome to This Explainer. We hear about artificial intelligence literally all the time right now, but there's this massive, massive gap between a jack-of-all-trades chatbot that can, say, write you a fun little poem and a highly reliable, industry-specific expert that you'd actually trust with your business. I mean, sure, a base model might know a tiny bit about everything, but it doesn't operate like a seasoned pro in a specific field. So today, we're diving straight into the Codatta framework to see exactly how that transformation happens and how that huge gap between general AI and specialized AI is successfully bridged. And that brings us to, honestly, the ultimate question driving tech today. How does a basic AI actually become an industry expert? It's such a fascinating challenge. Think about it. You've got this incredibly powerful technology that has effectively read the entire internet, from Wikipedia articles to the most obscure Reddit threads you can imagine. Yet, right out of the box, it completely lacks the nuanced, practical understanding you need to execute high-level professional tasks. Figuring out how to cross that threshold, well, that's exactly what separates a cool tech experiment from a serious enterprise-grade business solution. Think of a foundational model like a massive, incredibly impressive generalist. It's a fantastic starting point, but it's kind of like hiring a brilliant college grad with a super generic degree. Sure, they're undeniably smart, but they don't know your company's standard operating procedures, and they definitely don't speak the intricate language of your specific discipline. So, to get from that broad baseline to a specialized, highly functional tool, the kind you can confidently rely on to make big decisions, you have to build a very deliberate bridge. That doesn't just happen by accident, folks. So, what's the secret ingredient forcing an AI to specialize? It comes down to this brilliant, simple equation: knowledge multiplied by data. Notice it's not just more data. That is a massive misconception out there in the tech world. You could feed an AI all the raw, unverified data on the internet, and honestly, it'll just learn to make average guesses faster. No, the magic happens when human domain knowledge acts as a strict multiplier. When you apply expert human insight to that data, everything changes. It forces the model to level up and become truly valuable. In this setup, domain knowledge is basically acting as the ultimate mentor. And it utilizes four vital disciplines: teaching, guiding, grounding, and testing. These four pillars, they form the absolute bedrock of the entire Codatta framework. If you want an AI that genuinely works for a targeted industry, you have to run it through this exact process. You can't just pick and choose one. They work sequentially as a whole package. Let's break down exactly how they do that. All right, first up is fine-tuning. Now, think of this as sending the AI off to medical school. You aren't just handing it a textbook of facts and saying, hey, memorize this. Instead, you're exposing it to complex reasoning paths and super rare edge cases. It's like teaching a seasoned doctor how to diagnose a rare disease when the standard textbook symptoms are completely missing. By exposing the model to these really specific, high-level examples, you're fundamentally rewiring its internal neural pathways. You're teaching it to actually weigh variables and think like a seasoned pro. But here's the thing. Completely retraining models from scratch every single time a rule changes, that is incredibly expensive and insanely slow. And that is exactly where prompting comes in as our guiding hand. By engineering exactly how we ask the model questions, we instantly shape its behavior without even touching the underlying code. For instance, instead of just vaguely asking an AI, hey, is this legal contract valid? An expert prompt guides it step by step. You'd say, first, review Section A for termination clauses, then cross-reference those with the liabilities in Section B. See, you're giving it an expert's logical framework to follow right out of the gate. Next up is grounding, and this is powered by RAG, which stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Imagine giving the AI an open book test. Instead of letting it guess from its generic memory, where, let's be real, it might hallucinate a convincing but entirely fake answer, RAG forces the AI to look up exact facts from a curated, trusted library before it even speaks. So if you ask it a complex compliance question, it doesn't guess based on some outdated training data. Instead, it searches your company's live, secure database, pulls the exact paragraph from an updated PDF, and quotes it to you directly. It literally anchors the AI to verified reality. Finally, we hit the graduation exam: evaluation. Now, having an AI that sounds confident, that's incredibly easy. Having an AI that's actually correct, that's incredibly hard. This testing phase relies on strict human judgment to verify the system is genuinely ready for the real world. Think of it as a super rigorous peer review. Domain experts literally have to aggressively try to break the model. They're looking for logical leaps, hidden biases, or subtle errors that a non-expert would completely miss. And it's this human feedback loop that definitively turns a rough prototype into a solid, production-ready tool. And this is crucial because in high-stakes environments, we're talking scientific research, legal analysis, strategic planning, precision is absolutely everything. A slight hallucination from a generic model isn't just a minor glitch, right? It could derail a multi-million-dollar clinical trial or completely ruin a quarterly financial forecast. In these fields, almost right is completely wrong. That is exactly why meticulously teaching, guiding, grounding, and intensely testing your models with real human experts is absolutely mandatory. It's the only way to build actual trust in these systems. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Take a hard look at your own technology stack. Is your AI system just a generalist? Or is it a true specialist? Are you relying on raw, untamed foundational data? Or are you actively applying that critical multiplier of domain knowledge through teaching, guiding, grounding, and testing? Really? It's the difference between having a fun novelty tool that talks and a powerful professional tool that actually works. Keep questioning how your technology learns,